philosophy that I follow in the heart and the soul and the mind to better the lives of others is your life's greatest reward, which makes the rest of your life the best of your life. And I sometimes call it the KISS program. Keep it simple, servant. And with your mission, with kindness and courtesy from your heart, you'll find out what a difference it's going to make in your life. Because you know what? People who give kindness always feel better off than those who receive it.
Hello and welcome to Along the Way Life's Journey. I'm your host, Carl Buccellato. We have a true American hero as our guest today, and I am very proud to introduce you to him. Captain Len Kaine, retired U.S. Navy fighter pilot, also retired commercial airline captain, founder and president of the Golden Rule Society, a charity which for 50 years has been helping the defenders of our freedoms, plus their children, churches, and charities worldwide. He was both the first East Coast Navy Top Gun and the first all-Navy Top Gun in 1959. Completed F-4 Phantom training with the highest grades ever assigned. Set a Navy record flying 6 different types of aircraft in 2 days as an air combat tactics instructor. That was 1964. His record still stands as a loose deuce instructor. He wrote the Squadron Tactics Manual, which became the primer for the Navy's Top Gun School. Awarded 2 Distinguished Flying Crosses, 7 Air Medals for more than 100 combat missions over North Vietnam, 1966 through 67. While aboard the USS Enterprise Lens Squadron, the VF-92, using his tactics, was the first Navy fighter squadron that did not lose one single aircraft in combat during their 7-month deployment. He received the U.S. President's Lifetime Achievement Award for volunteer service, and late Senator John McCain actually pinned the medal on him. Named the 2010 Veteran of the Year by U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs. The Golden Rule Society was selected as a national charity of choice for the support they provide to our troops, veterans, and their families. He was chairman of the board of Realty Pilot Corporation, helping our American neighbors with all aspects of their real estate industry. He worked with World Peace One's director Klaus Nobel in their mutual peace efforts nationwide and globally. Partner and advisor in Practice Interactive Corporation in Tiva Health Program, he is helping millions of licensed medical professionals in the U.S. Selected in the first group of Coronado Avenue of Heroes, 2015, his banner flew across from the General Jimmy Doolittle banner. Captain Len Kaine has 5 nominations submitted for the Nobel Peace Prize, 2019, 18, 17, 14, and 3. The world's runner-up, number 2 in the world in 2014. Selected to Who's Who in America in 2020. Recipient of the Marquis Worldwide Humanitarian Award. Selected as the keynote speaker at the upcoming dedication ceremony of the nation's African-American monument in the largest naval park in the USA, located in Buffalo, New York, July 4th, 2023. It's been said, a hero is someone who helps defend and save the lives and freedoms of others. In my book, that's Len Kaine. Please welcome my friend, Captain Len Kaine. Captain Kaine, so good to see you on the show today.
It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. You did forget to tell them that I was a newspaper delivery boy when I was 8, 9, and 10 years old.
I figured I'd leave something for you to tell them.
You're always courteous and kind, my friend. And ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at Mr. Carl. He is something special. And I'm honored to be with him, working to help make it a better world. And by the way, Mr. Carl has been selected as one of the senior advisors in the Golden Rule Society charity. And that's a classic group of gentlemen and ladies who are helping to make it a better world. And that's why
I can't tell you how deeply honored I am. I really am honored. But look, we are on this show today, not to talk about me, but to talk about you, because you are a man that has a long history, a long series of lessons, and motivational to many, many people. And I think the world needs to hear your story because this show has been put together for people like you to tell your story, to motivate and inspire other people to come up above where they are in life, to be more than they think that's possible. You did it. They can do it too. So let's start with the beginning. I know you've earned all the accolades. There are more awards and medals listed on your resume than I had time to even mention. I mean, they're as long as my arm. But in the beginning was Len Kaine, a boy growing up, living somewhere. We want to know from the beginning and how your life progressed, and then what came from there. So give us a little insight into who you were in the beginning.
It all started with being born from a wonderful set of parents, my mom and dad, just great people. My dad was Adam, my mother was Theodosia, and I came into this world in 1936. And the nice part about it, my dad was a coal miner up there near Scranton, Pennsylvania. So I was a coal miner's kid. The hero in my life was my older brother, Bill, who, when the World War II started, he had graduated from high school and off he went to the Marine in the Marine Corps over there in the Western Pacific in combat. And he was and will always be my hero. He's gone. Good Lord called him back to heaven already. So, but that was fine. I had two other sisters, and I was the baby in the family. But growing up in our small hometown, playing all the sports, as you can imagine, football, baseball, basketball, that's we kids should do that. Studying hard as I could, being a acolyte, and in that church, and that always has meant a very big part of my life. Being a good Christian man, I always dedicate my life to serving the Lord. And that's not a very bad thing to do because it's an honor and a pleasure. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's where it all started. I graduated high school and I was off to the Navy. And as I was leaving to go to boot camp, my mother, God bless her, said to me, Len, wherever you go, whatever you do, whoever you meet, she says, be kind. And actually, she used motherly terms. She said, make nice.
Make nice. I love that.
I do too. And when I talk to other people, I said, what'd she say? She said, be kind. What it means, of course. And that's what we've been trying to do for all of my life. And it really works. Ladies and
You,
gentlemen,
you sure are the example of it.
well, why not? Because it's good Lord says that. Then
That's
we're
right.
going to golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated.
So then you went into the Navy. You went into it in a program because you tested so high and you accelerated, and they allowed you into the aviation school, I believe, right? As a teenager, actually, and you became a teenage ensign. Is that true? So older men had to salute you and say, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir."
That was the nice part about it. I just wanted to go there and go to electronics school and maybe get a job with IBM when I finished the Navy service. But they said, hey, kid, as you mentioned, you did well on the tests. Okay. So they gave me more tests. And then they pretty said, hey, kid, you have the equivalency of 2 years of college. I said, well, what does that mean? I said, well, you could take the test to go to Navy flight training. I said, well, I never talked about that. But they said, we ought to take the test. So I did. Next thing I know, as you mentioned, I was down there in Pensacola, Florida, learning how to fly an airplane. That was wonderful. What a wonderful experience. And then, as you said, got to be a naval aviator, wings of gold, and as a teenage ensign. Wow, that's really something. But that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
And it just went on from there, dedicated service in the Navy. And as you mentioned, all the wonderful things that happened as an instructor, as a combat, this, that, and the other. But it was fun. And then after more than a quarter of a century flying Navy airplanes, they retired from the Navy and went out to be an airline captain with the Pacific Southwest Airlines and spent another more than a quarter of a century with them. U.S. Air purchased PSA, and now American Airlines has purchased U.S. Airways. So,
Yeah, I'm sure that sometime back there, I flew on one of your planes in the back while you were piloting in the front. I used to travel all over the world extensively, millions and millions of miles. And I've flown on virtually almost every airline there was. But so your life changed dramatically because you had the aptitude to take the test. And unknowing, it opened up a whole new world to you. Aviation became something entirely new to you. And you became one of the best of the best. There's no doubt about it. All the accolades and awards that you won, Top Gun for this, Top Gun for that, all, creating the programs that sustained for the Navy for so many years through peace and combat. Those are remarkable things to occur. And it just is a tribute to the human condition that here is a young man you were never raised around a military family. You didn't imagine that you would be in aviation. There you are, leading the way. And it had to be quite a head trip for a young guy.
oh, marvelous, marvelous experience. And of course, what you do is you pass on the good things that you learn and share the kind.
Right.
And those words that my mother gave, wherever you go, whatever you do, whoever you meet, be kind. We now have, as you know, the worldwide kindness campaign of the Golden Rule Society charity.
Mhm.
And it goes like this: with the kindness and love and hope in your heart for peace in the world. Treat others the way you want to be treated, truthfully, with dignity and respect. And a lot of people said, hey, that kind of sounds like the good Lord's 11th commandment. And I said, what is the 11th commandment? And I talked to some ministers and priests, and they said, there really isn't an 11th commandment, but what it says is the good Lord tells us to share the love that I give you with others.
Right.
That's so simple, so powerful. Wouldn't it be a wonderful world? We would just live that way.
I remember we were talking about that I go to a men's Bible group on Monday night, and we were talking about that very thing Monday night. And I said, I remember as a young man, first time I read that and it really resonated to me. And he says, love one another. And I said, wow, I could do that. And then he added the boot on the end. He said, as I have loved you. And I said, whoa, that's total. That is complete. That is willing to put your life on the line. That's a whole different thing than just saying, yeah, I love you. It means to really recognize that these are our brothers on earth and we're supposed to love each other. Wonderful message. Wonderful message.
Oh, it really is. It's in my heart and my mind and my soul on a day-to-day basis. I get up in the morning and I say my prayers, and that just vivid in my mind.
Yeah.
Share the love that the good Lord gives us with each other. About being bada boom. And that's what we're doing with the Golden Rule Society. We're touching the lives of people nationwide, worldwide. And it's a tremendous advantage for the children in school. One of our nice organizational members was enamored with the Golden Rule Society Kindness Campaign. So she's had a daughter, 8 years old, and she said, Mom, I really like this idea, the kindness campaign. She said, why don't we have at our school a kindness club? So her mom picked up on that, talked to the principal, the superintendent, and the schools up in Minnesota, and they said, wouldn't that be a nice idea? And the kindness club is something, it's not competitive with anything that the teachers are trying to do. It's supportive of what the teachers are trying to do, whether teaching mathematics, English, whatever they're doing. It's supportive, so all the kids are getting in there to, hey, instead of fighting with one another, supporting with. And
What a novel idea in this nation.
It is marvelous. And it's carrying out the kindness campaign. But the kids are going to, and they're going, The goal is to have every school in every city, in every town and city here, through state and countries, might as well go through our countries, that they will have kindness clubs and you're helping to make it a better world. And we put out a little something, I think you've seen this before. I send out a video email, ladies and gentlemen, and we all do emails, right? But for just a simple thing, you have a little sticker up on your computer screen there, and you say, you're looking up and you're being recorded, just as we are right now. And when instead of writing, hi, Mr. Jones, hi, Mrs. Smith, hi, Mom and Dad, all that, you're sharing it, with your voice, your personality, your smile, whether you're talking to family, maybe you're talking to your customers or prospects, they get the fact that, oh, this person is really interested and really dedicated to what he or she is telling. And you ought to look into it because why we encourage people to look at our website, which is very simple. And you all know how that goes, ladies and gentlemen. It's very simple. www.goldenrulesociety.org. O-R-G. Simply means we're a charitable, nonprofit, tax exempt corporation formed here in California, but we're nationwide. We're worldwide. And we're, by the way, more than 50 years, we're all non-paid volunteers. When I do
Marvelous.
a radio show on Fridays that goes to 73 countries.
Yes, tell me about the radio show. It goes out on Radio Blog, right?
Yeah,
And it's
Blog Talk
available.
Radio.
It's available at noon Eastern time, and you
Yes,
can call in and listen to you and others give a message for the day, right?
yes. The show goes on 6 days a week. I do the Friday shows, was at high noon, East Coast time. And it's a dial-in type of thing. And you listen to what's going on. The people are kind of like what we're discussing right now. How to make it a better world, how to be a better person, and the educational, motivational, inspirational, character building stuff for children of all ages. It's available to you when you visit the goldenrulesociety.org. And there it is. Take advantage of it. They're gifts for you. And when I jokingly say at the start of the radio shows, and I think I'll do it when I start a video show as well, I tell people, welcome to the radio show. Now watch my lips. And of course, they all laugh because you can't see my lips on the radio. But I tell them that the point I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm not selling anything. What we're offering are opportunities to help make it a better world, starting with individuals, each other.
And
Why
you've
not?
been doing this for 50 years.
A little
I'm,
over.
I'm sure you have people now who were children when they received it and are now adults passing it forward.
It's kind of nice just to be part of it.
Yeah, it's a
And
good thought. So, as you know, the show is my show here that we're on right now has been developed to bring forth guests like yourself who motivate and inspire other people by telling their stories of people who motivated them. I can imagine that your motivation initially came from your parents, but are there any other people you'd like to single out that might have given you the insight or the push forward to recognize that you could be more than you thought?
well, I don't think you have enough time. You can have a week or two, but yes, many good
I'm
people.
sure.
Many at the home, the ministers and the priests that we went to churches. And my lovely bride, Ann, where we were schoolmates together. And I mentioned I was an athlete, played baseball, football, basketball, all that. And at noontime, we would be, I would be the referee for the girls' basketball team, just helping out. And there was this blonde, blue-eyed, lovely young lady playing basketball. She had one terrific hook shot. So then we started dating, and we just got married at 64 years ago.
64 years. God bless.
We are
64 years.
so blessed together. And she still does co-founder of Golden Rule Society charity. but she also spends a lot of time helping children. She volunteers with the church work. She's as busy as I am with other church work and helping others. And it's
Marvelous.
a pleasure and an honor, honest to goodness, Ray,
Marvelous.
that
So, folks, as you're watching this, I want you to remember that you're looking at two octogenarians who have decided that time is no excuse for doing nothing. You know, if you think that you've retired, oh, I did my work, I did my share, it's never over till it's over. You're looking at a man in his 80s and another man in his 80s. The two of us, I'm 80 and he's 80. You're what, 84, 86? Which means there's work to be done at any age. Get off the couch and be involved in the world and in life and do your share. Go down to the soup kitchen, join the Golden Rule Society and support it. Do the things that are necessary to do in this world that makes it a better world. This it's been often said, the way to change the world is one hand reaching out to another. That's all it takes. If everybody just keeps that in mind, that'll make us a chain around this world that can never be broken. And you're looking at a man who's had 50 years experience of doing it after coming back from a lifetime of combat and war, and recognize, the more I talk to people like Captain Kane here, the more I realize that the men who go through the horrors of war understand what peace means, and they work diligently to see to it that this world comes to a peaceful place. So let me ask you a question. Maybe I don't mean it to be a political question, but it's just a thought that came to my mind. During your life, you must have seen in this country some changes, sometimes for the better, but sometimes for the worse. What do you think is the biggest issue in America today?
well, it's a challenge of what we're trying to do. And I, I know on a personal level, mentioned that I was a 32nd degree Freemason.
Yeah.
And at age 21, I signed up because it's a wonderful organization. And the Freemasons were the people that wrote the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
They wrote the Constitution, and they created the the best country in the world,
Yeah.
America, land of the free, home of the brave. And I just think, but right now I see people that are trying to take it away. And some people say, Len, what they're trying to do is turn it into communism. I said, well, that's frightening. And as a member of the Golden Rule Society, we're a charity. We're apolitical. In other words, I really don't get into the nitty-gritty and all that sort of stuff. But we want back to be where we were. Good, quality country with people, freedom, justice, the American way. And that's what I miss.
Well, I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. This has been the greatest experiment in mankind and has lasted longer than any other constitution and institution in the history of the world. And look at what it's done to support the world. And every time there's a disaster, an emergency, the horrors of a war, it's the United States, the people of America, who get together and rebuild again and go out and defend again. And there's just nothing like it. There's nothing else like it in the world. And when I hear these naysayers, you know, speak down about this country, I just wonder, are they blind to not see the truth? Or they just don't want to hear and know the truth? Well, at any rate, I know the truth. You know the truth. And we're going to keep talking about it until we take our last breath. I know that.
Right. That's one of the things I do. And Carl, because you are such a dynamite guy, I mentioned that I send the video emails to people rather than just sending an email that people read. But one that I really like is that I start out, hi there. Have you got a minute to help make it a better world? I mean, everybody has a minute to help make it a better world.
Absolutely.
And we ask them simply, why don't you share the information that I'm giving you, which are the gifts of discounts on travel? Again, I'm not selling anything. It's free. Why pay 100%? I give an example of a friend of mine from here in San Diego area. And he said, Len, my wife and I are had to go to New York round trip. on a business trip. And I said, yes. And he says, I took your advice and got into the free discount program with the Golden Rule Society. And he says, the airline was going to charge me $1,000 for the round trip. And he says, these are round numbers. You know? And he says, I told him, part of the Golden Rule Society. And I said, $500. He said, well, we saved it $500. And he says, you
Amazing.
probably want us to make a donation to you, don't you, Len? I said, if you do, that's fine, because whatever we get, we give. We share. Pay our bills, of course. But the nice part about it is people get discount on air travel, air trains, planes, buses, want to go on a cruise ship. And there are other opportunities that people have for education. Why not follow the teachings of history's most successful people?
Right.
And you can be more successful in your life.
Absolutely.
It's education and running a business. Don't make the mistakes that are every day. Learn from them. And that's what we're trying to do. And there are many others. And then you mentioned the Intiva Health Program. And I'm part of that, as you are.
Yes, I
And
am.
I know that we were selected in Intiva Health, and you can find that on their website, goldenrulesociety.org. And look at it. There's it's free. You can find out all kinds of wonderful information. And 2 years ago, in Intiva Health, we were selected #1 in the world supporting the medical industry, nationwide, worldwide. Incredible. And that's why we're here, to serve.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's a great honor, because these are the kind of things when you give beyond yourself for the health and the help of others. You just can't imagine what comes back. I mean, you don't do it because of what comes back, but there's a certain peace about it. There's a certain thankfulness about it that comes about that you just don't get any other way. I don't know how to do it. That's the way it comes, and to me, it's a loving kiss from God. And I start by you, as you and Ann do. I know you and your lovely wife Ann, you're people of faith, and my wife Mary Ellen and I, we begin our day every day with devotions, and we give thanks to God every day, every single day, for the gift of one more day of life, every day. And I don't know how to live without it. I just don't. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've mentioned a few different websites and organizations and things. You don't have to bother writing it all down. We're going to have it all in the show notes where you can see it all written down. There'll be links there where you can link on to the Golden Rule Society, or to Len's website or email. So if you want to write him and thank him, or just reminisce about a memory you have, I'm sure he'd be glad to receive it, as do I. We do new show every Wednesday morning, but throughout the week, we take emails and contacts from people who have a question or a message or someone to recommend that they'd like to see on the show. And that's what keeps this show going. This show is the result. Over my shoulder here, what you see as my right shoulder, it's really my left, in the reverse of the mirror here, is a book. And that book I wrote published a year ago. And it's called To Every Page a Turning. And it's loosely the story of my life. And To Every Page a Turning is my poetic way of saying Ecclesiastics. For every season, everything there is a season in life. And for every season in your life, there's a page that turns. Every day of your life is a new page, a new message, a new event, a new threat. Who knows what it is? But it's all there. And it's in that book. And the book was so well received. My publishers told me, you should have a podcast. You're pretty good on TV. Do a podcast. I didn't even know what a podcast was. So here I am. I'm doing a podcast, and I'm into 50 shows already. I've gone through a year. I've got 1,000 subscribers. But the important thing is every dime that comes from that book pays for the podcast, because what it does is it springs forward, gives me an opportunity to bring people like Len on the show to talk about what's happened in their life and how it could happen in your life as well. We're very honored and very proud to have you on this show.
Pleasure indeed. Yeah, pleasure indeed. Helping others.
And we're going to give Captain Len Kaine the last couple of minutes to say and to say anything he wants to say, unedited, uncensored, because we don't believe in censorship here. What would you like to tell the folks before we close down?
Well, simple as that, because people ask me, as you have as well, Len, how did you get into this program? And I said, well, it's very simple. The philosophy that I follow in the heart and the soul and the mind to better the lives of others is your life's greatest reward, which makes the rest of your life the best of your life. And I sometimes call it the KISS program. Keep it simple, servant. And we're here to serve with kindness and courtesy from your heart. You'll find out what a difference it's going to make in your life. Because you know what? The people who give kindness always feel better off than those who receive it.
That's true.
Think about that.
That's true.
Because everybody says, oh, I like to get a gift, I have some kindness, a gift, a present, whatever. But the person that gives feels more better. Why not be the person that gives? And very simple, sharing the kindness that the good Lord is giving to us. Why not?
Why
So
not?
that's it in a nutshell. And that's why I'm so happy to be here with you to share all the wonderful things that we should. And looking forward to more sessions with you, my friend, because you're
Thank you.
you're a
Thank you.
super duper senior advisor to the Golden Room Society charity. What a
Thank you. I'm honored. I really am honored. I truly am. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we do a new show every Wednesday morning. Look for us on Wednesday morning on YouTube or all the various distribution channels. This is a English-speaking program that goes out just as you see it, video as well as audio on different tracks, and it goes out to every English-speaking country in the world. So this message, hopefully, will reverberate, and others will see it and respond to it. I also want to remind you that you have a very unique story. Everybody's got their own story, and yours is unique to you. No one can tell it the way you can. Make sure that you bless your families and friends and the people you know by telling your story. Write it down, because the world needs to hear from it. The world needs to learn from it, because when it's too late, it's too late. It'll be lost forever. Share your story. We all need to hear it. And in keeping with Len's comments about being kind, I want to repeat what I say every week. I'm a big fat Italian, so I say it in my way. Tell somebody you love them today. Hug the people you know. Don't let a day go by where they don't know how important they are to you, because today's the only day you got. God bless. God bless, Len. Captain. See you soon, folks. Thank you for tuning into the show. I hope that it resonated with you. It certainly did with me. And I hope it encouraged you to realize the true power of your story. As a reminder, new episodes will be released Wednesday mornings on your favorite podcast apps, and also on YouTube as well. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn your notification button on to ensure that you receive updates on new episode releases. I'm grateful for your reviews and your support. The love is certainly felt. Keep it coming. You can reach out to connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, or stop by my website, toeverypageofturning.com. All links are clickable in the show notes for quick access. Do you think that you or someone you know may be our most inspiring guest yet? Let's hope so. Click on our contact page and get in touch on my website and share your story. I look forward to reading each one personally. My best-selling book, To Every Page of Turning, which was published by Mascot Books, is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, and many more popular book retailers. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Till next time, remember that every day is a new opportunity to write your new page in your incredible journey. And it is incredible. You're the only one who has it.